It's the first camel I've seen. I've seen their tracks. It's a big animal. This is a one-humped dromedary camel. It can weigh up to 600 kilos. The males are a worry when rutting, as they can be very aggressive and bite, which is kind of scary. Okay, well, it's the middle of April, and I've been coming down this track for about 10K, and I'm thinking, there are no tracks. Well, let's see if we can figure out why. That's going to be probably the whole season before that's passable. Should have brought my fishing pole. So what am I doing here? Well, I'm on this track right here, and this is a little hot spot here. This is a fairly pronounced one. This is a very broad gold anomaly. So I'm just going down this track, having a bit of a squiz. At the moment, it's just deep loam. So go a bit further. So this is an old fence line. It hasn't been used in a long time, quite overgrown, so you have to be able to go down these tracks, and you say, oh, what about your truck getting scratched? Well, you get scratches on your truck, but they do come out. You have to get some compound and a bit of elbow grease. I normally do that at the end of the season. You know, it's been a couple days, get all the scratches out of my truck, but you have to be able to get down these little tracks if you want to find gold and not be worried about scratching your truck. I mean, to me, it's a good sign. An overgrown track means nobody's been down here in a long time. But I'm not seeing any stones. I'm not seeing any rocks. Oh, there's a bit of fine gravel there. But I'm not seeing your typical auriferous type of rocks, which you want to see lots of quartz and ironstone on the ground. So we'll go maybe another half a K and see if something happens. So I've gone a couple hundred meters, and it looks like there's a few rocks starting to come in on the road. You know, some ironstone. So that's a good sign. Things are starting to happen. So now we got a bit of quartz coming through on the ground. Now that's a good sign. So you have to pay attention to your scale. So let's say we're 5 units off that track. Let's go down to our scale here, and there's 5 units. So, you know, that's like a kilometer, right? That's 10 Ks. So what you're going to have to do is get off this track and get in that ground. You have to get off the track and get down in there, you know, at least half a K to see what's going on. But the indication is there's quartz and ironstone coming through on this track. So I need to think about getting off this track and going bush. So I can see the outcrops coming through now. You know, it looks like a bit of quartz. Best thing to do is just pull up under a shady tree, get your detector out, and go for a walk. You can walk 500 meters, half an hour, and go back in there and see what's going on. That's what I'll do tomorrow. I walked into the bush to see what was happening. The first 200 meters looked promising. However, at about 300 meters in, the rocks faded away to spinifex and sand. This would be a company proposition using advanced magnetic surveys to locate any possible structures beneath the surface that could be tested in search of the source of the gold anomaly. So I've been out in the bush for a week and haven't found any gold yet. So today I'm looking at this little hot spot here. Here's a series of results. So what are the results and where are they? Well, let's find out. You can see basically 1, 1, 1, 2, that's all background values. And once you get a 6, a 1, a 2, and a 5. So here's the interest here. Got the GPS coordinates. Let's go see how it looks on the ground. Okay, so here we are at the 6 ppb location, and you can see the ground looks pretty auriferous. Got quartz, ironstone, quite a bit of quartz on the ground. It's about 200 meters away. So we'll have a good look around. My results tell me there's gold in the soil, and now it's just up to me to find the first piece. There's always a good sign when you see ants and termites make mounds. It means a lot of mineralization around. So people ask me, what do you swing? Well, this is what I swing. A 5000. I've got a 14-9 elliptical. We call that a spoked wheel coil. It's very light. I've got 2 bungee cords. I get that cord from Spotlight. It's not very thick. I've got 4 strands. I got it just perfectly weighted where I can swing this thing all day. The last thing I want to do is go out and have my arm hurt, because in that instant all I think about is going back to camp. Right? I swing this coil all day without any discomfort. That's what you want. Now this is a great machine. I can find quarter grammars down 6-8 inches when I'm walking around. Of course, once I get on gold, I've got a 7000. I call it my vacuum cleaner. This is the Patch Hunter. Now, here's a good tip. I put a sponge in my armrest. So the sponge just takes up all the slack, and it really does make my arm one unit. It makes it one complete unit. Like, I know straight away when I forgot to put that sponge in. So it's all about being comfortable. Okay, so I wanted to show you what I carry on my belt. Now, I carry these things around all the time when I'm in the bush, because I work by myself, right? So I need a little protection. First thing I carry is a knife, right? You always need a knife. Carry a knife. Oh, and by the way, my good friend Rodney, Hot Rod Middleton, he sent me this beautiful knife. And I feel very safe when I carry this thing around, I can tell you. Thanks, Rod. Appreciate that. Okay, so I carry a knife. The second thing I carry is an EPIRB. Right? This is a beacon. Personal locator beacon. If you get lost, snake bit, break your leg, push the button on these, you activate this thing, and the cavalry come and rescue you. So you'll be saved, and you won't perish out here. to be rescued. So that's mandatory. Everybody should have one of these. In fact, the authorities should make these mandatory. Cost about $350. So what's your life worth? Okay, and then thirdly, I carry a satellite phone because I like to keep in contact. Maybe something's going on. And also, I think in conjunction with the EPIRB, you can call the authorities and give them an idea. This is just a generic beacon for help. But if you can call, say, the police in Mount Magnet or Kalgoorlie and say, I set my beacon off, this is what's wrong with me. They can be more prepared, I think. So these are the 3 things that I carry. I work alone, I'm isolated, and my life depends on these things. So these are the things that you should have as well. Knife, EPIRB, and a sat phone. Okay, the next installment in my adventure will be posted in a couple of days. Please come back. Should you appreciate my efforts, please click the small prospector icon in the lower right-hand corner to subscribe. It's free to do so, no obligation whatsoever, and helps me a lot to grow my channel. Also, please click the like button and leave me a comment. Cheerio, P101.